If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. This the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah. This one for the winners if you with me. Yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah. It's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. Talking big, big. I knew that one day that I could make it big, big. I'm talking how to stay smoking without a sissy. Now we get up and do it like we got a big rig. It's getting serious. I know you're curious. Took some losses through the process, had me furious.
Okay, so it is Tuesday. I didn't film any talking clips for yesterday's bench session. Honestly, as soon as I finish benching, I just want to go get to the gym, get my accessories done and get home. Big priority for me this week is rest, relaxation, keeping stress levels down, keeping myself just looking after myself better. And we are on day 2 of the week and I already feel like that's just gone to shit. I have been incredibly stressed today and I'm not going to go into details about it, but essentially just incredibly stressed today. Had a lot of work to get done as well. But just stress levels have been high for various reasons and it's just felt a bit overwhelming today. Sleep last night, to be fair, was decent and I actually got a good amount of sleep and I found it okay to get up this morning for the first time in a while, so that's kind of on the right tracks. But I'm training much later than I wanted to and I did just spend about 40 minutes just like, I ate a pre-workout meal and I just sat on the sofa for 40 minutes trying to just de-stress. I watched an episode of Grey's Anatomy, trying to get myself out of work mode, but I just, feel stressed and it didn't really help me today. Just not in the best mood, I guess, but it is 10 to 6. I've got high bar, deadlifts, RDLs, then I'm going to the gym to do my accessories. I'm also planning on merging my optional accessory day with today's session. I did check with Lewis, he's fine with that because I just think 4 days a week of training for me is plenty. I think the extra 5th additional day, especially with it being quite a short accessory day, just isn't necessary when I can just make these other sessions a little bit longer, give myself an extra full rest day, and especially right now, just with how busy I am, definitely feels needed, which means tomorrow will be a rest day, which I absolutely need, and I'm going to try and finish all of my work by kind of 2, 3, and just have a really relaxed afternoon/evening. I might even wait and walk Zuko after I finish work and just take him for a nice long hour to an hour and a half stroll when I finish work, rather than getting up earlier in the morning and basically just start work a little bit earlier, rather than walking him first thing, which he will not mind either. But yeah, essentially plan is to just try and really look after myself, which I feel like I've already failed on day 2 of the week, but I know just need to kind of have a refresh, gonna just try and get lost in training, enjoy it. But it is the 3rd week of my first block with Lewis. It is technically the final week of this, what we're calling washout block, which is just a super light, kind of going through the motions, starting to get a bit of a microcycle planned together and kind of figure out what works before we then go into, I think Lewis said the plan is to do a triples block, 4-week triples block after this one, and then 2 singles blocks that are 4 weeks long into British is the plan, I believe, but I'm just going to let him tell me what to do. This week also marked the start of my cut back down to within cutting range of my class. So body weight has been sitting it's kind of been slowly creeping up. We did a 6-week maintenance phase once I got back from my month of kind of like being all over the place in July. That is with Jane Jones from the Strength Guys. She's been doing my nutrition now since I think it was middle towards the end of March, so a good few months. Essentially we were just dieting constantly for the first few months. And then in July, I competed the first weekend of July. I was away most of the month, just different work things, so competitions just all here, there and everywhere, like the whole month basically. So we kind of had that month off from really worrying too much about my macros and tracking and just kind of eating what was available. And then we've done a 6-week maintenance phase. I can't remember that maintenance phase. But with that maintenance phase, my weight has slowly been kind of creeping up. I do think that is partly linked to stress levels and stuff as well. But I've been kind of averaging high 87s the last couple of weeks. The weekend just gone, I was at Powering Through's autumn comp and I was there all weekend, so I was basically just living on bagels because they have a bagel van there, and whatever was kind of available. So body weight did kind of shoot back up again, but it was literally just retention. So going to give it a few more days, see kind of where I'm averaging at. But cut has started, macros have dropped, and actually in terms of food, like I've been really struggling the last couple of weeks with adherence. Like I've still been 90% sticking to my macros, making sure to fuel training properly as always and stuff like that, and like ticking the main boxes, but I have definitely been kind of snacking extra, going a little bit over, not picking the best quality of food a lot of the time, like my fiber's been down, and just kind of eating for convenience more as well. And I've just kind of felt very demotivated, and I do think that is mainly like a stress thing, like it's an emotional response with my diet, I think. But part of that I do also think is where I didn't really have a set goal with my nutrition outside of just fueling performance, which I definitely needed this maintenance phase, but I do think now having the goal of cutting weight down, I will have much better adherence. Other thing I should probably also say and talk through is this is actually my last couple of weeks working with Jane. A few various reasons, but like I've really enjoyed working with her. But I am going to be doing my nutrition myself again as of, I think, roughly like the 20th of this month. We're now in October. No, we're not in October, that's next month. We are in September. So yeah, and just because I've got other things going on, I'm not going to obviously go into all the reasons on here. But literally, like, she's been exactly what I needed. She kept me on track during the off season, which was the most important thing for me. So yeah, gonna have to take over the reins for my cut myself after the next couple of weeks, but we're getting the cut started, we're getting it underway together for a couple of weeks, and then it'll be on my own. I say on my own, I mean that loosely, because I do know that if I go off the rails and I'm like, Lewis, by the way, my body weight has shot back up to like 89 kilos, he will tell me to sort myself out, and that would probably be enough of a nudge for me to then obviously be more on track. But like, I know, and I said this to Lewis when I spoke to him about it as well, I don't need guidance for the gut cut or the water load or whatever I decided to do cutting into com, like the acute weight cutting I can do myself. I always stick to that 100%, that's not a problem. For me, my biggest issue is adherence between comps, and managing body weight kind of in off seasons when I'm not directly about to compete, and also not having knee-jerk reactions to how I'm feeling like emotionally as well. So I mentioned a couple of videos ago that I'd been struggling with my body image, and had I not been working with Jane at that point, I would have absolutely just put my calories into a deficit and started my cut much earlier than I needed to, which I'm glad I didn't do that, especially with all of the extra stress I've had going on lately. The last thing my body needed is the additional stress of being in a calorie deficit. So I definitely think this is the right time for me to be in my cut. I definitely feel ready to start it. Got plenty of time to get down to where I need to. Lewis and I sort of spoke about where he would like me to get my body weight, because obviously I'm going to take his advice on board as well. And we've kind of agreed 86 kilos-ish is light enough for me to then be within cutting range. With Jane, we tended to cut from a little bit lighter, but I think doing it myself, I'll refine the cut a little bit more, and I think cutting from around 86 is probably going to be pretty doable. But equally, if I'm finding that actually my food is still at a decent level and my weight is still dropping once I get to around 86 and it's having zero impact on my training recovery, and I feel like I'm getting enough kind of food in to fuel my training and my peak and everything, I'll probably allow myself to cut a little bit lighter. So I'm going to play that kind of by ear. But yeah, I am taking over my nutrition again as of a couple of weeks' time. Don't know if there's any other updates. Yeah, just been a bit of a stress head today, which isn't ideal. But like, most of what's going on is really great. Like, my business is busier than ever. I've got quite a few new people onboarding over the next month, which I think is literally my busiest month for like onboarding as well, which is such a cool feeling. And I'm incredibly grateful for that. And like, actual work side of things is amazing, and I have zero complaints, but it's just like balancing everything else that's going on as well, and also trying to be the athlete I'm finding quite difficult. And I'm just noticing that my training is getting later and later and later each week. I also know that this session is probably my longest session, apart from maybe Saturday's SBD, but generally on a Saturday that is my day off, or if I am working, it's literally just replies and nothing else. So generally I get those done like first thing in the morning, or I will train and then do them straight after I've trained while I'm kind of eating my post-workout meal and stuff. So Saturdays I have a lot more freedom with time, and I don't tend to make many plans at the weekend either. I try and keep it as free as possible. So on a Tuesday, I do find fitting this session in not hard, it's fine, but it's just quite a long session for me to leave until like 6 p.m. to actually do. So I'm pretty sure I said literally like last week, I don't know if I said it on a video or just when I was talking to like my boyfriend or my friends or something, and I was like, oh yeah, on a Tuesday, I'm gonna make sure I finish work around 2, and I'm gonna really just go straight in the gym, train, get it all done. And literally we're sat here and it's like basically 6 p.m. and I'm not started yet. So not really what we wanted, but I'm going to try and just get everything done. I definitely still think, because Lewis said to me about moving my accessory later today, he said that's totally fine as long as you feel like you've got the time to do it. And I actually would rather be training later tonight and just get it done and have that rest day tomorrow rather than finish my training session half an hour, 40 minutes earlier and save my accessories for tomorrow. Like, I would rather do it all today, be in the gym a bit longer and have that full freedom tomorrow. My boyfriend is also going to walk Zuko while I'm in here, so that means I have to fit in the dog walk tonight as well, which has been another thing, obviously balancing that, especially now that it's getting dark earlier. Has been a little bit harder to do, but we're still figuring out scheduling with obviously having a dog, because last year when we got him it was winter, but he couldn't walk very far, so it was very easy to fit things in, where now he can kind of walk for kind of however long really, like an hour to an hour and a half, and generally in the evening we try and do his longest walk, and fitting that in with training, and obviously I don't want to walk him in the dark on my own really. I mean, I don't mind walking him around the roads on my own in the dark, but it's nice to be able to walk him in the woods because then he can sniff a lot more, and we do like sniff walks where that tires him out a lot more. But doing that on my own in the dark is not going to happen because I don't want to be murdered. So yeah, essentially thing in dog walks is something else that we are still trying to work out, but I just think I need to be better at time management, blocking out my time. I also need to remember that as a self-employed powerlifting like online coach, my working hours are mine to choose. So even if I work until 2 and then I come out here, train, go to the gym, do my accessories, and then I get back at my desk for a couple of hours in the evening, like that's not a bad thing. Like if that makes my life a little bit easier to juggle, I can definitely do that, but it's just accepting that I can do that. Whereas I think I spent a long time trying to set like not specific office hours, but I guess part of me because like boundaries are really important to me when it comes to my work. Trying to put those boundaries in place, one of the things was, okay, well, I'm not going to be available all the time. I need my clients to understand that this is my work. Post 6 p.m, they shouldn't be expecting a reply. Obviously, sometimes I do. If I'm like sat and I'm on the sofa or something, I see messages coming through, I'll often go upstairs and I'll go on my desk if I've got nothing else to be doing. Or if it's just a quick response, I'll go through it on my phone, like if it's just a quick question or something. But generally, I think my clients are very aware that if they're messaging me kind of in the evenings, they'll get a reply the next day. But equally, there's nothing in place that means I can't message them in the evening if it then balances my work day a little bit better. So just need to get better at that, and also just maybe not be quite as much of a workaholic, feeling like I need to get everything done ASAP. But again, I'm not complaining about having these problems, because like this is like the work side of things. I'm so grateful to be in the position I'm in. Like to have my main income come from coaching now is literally like my dream. So no complaints there, just a little bit stressed. Other things going on causing stress as well. Like it's not the work side that's causing the issues. So yeah, just balancing that. But to be fair, getting this all out has definitely helped me feel a little bit better. And I need to train. I've been talking for far too long, so I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to just kind of get some music on, get my warm-up drills done. They definitely are also helping me get in the zone to train, to be fair. I'm going to put my phone, I've added a new like setting to my phone, so where you can like put it on do not disturb, work focus, stuff like that. I've added one specifically for training, and it essentially like blacks out my lock screen and no notifications come through at all. So I can still obviously go on and see my notifications, but nothing is actively coming through on my phone or my watch. That has definitely been better as well. I just need to remember to put it on. Like yesterday I forgot, and then I had a few messages come through kind of relating to some of the stress that I've got going on as I was training, and I was like, this is terrible. Also, I didn't actually mention yesterday's training session. This is such a long talking segment, I'm so sorry. Yesterday's training session, I did not feel overly strong. I wasn't overly happy with my execution. Did speak to Lewis about it, and he was obviously like, you know, these aren't actually as bad as you think they are, like they're okay. Pauses were a little bit short. I kind of panicked on my 3-time pause triple, and I forgot to count on the 3rd rep, and then I was like trying to count, but I'd already kind of missed a couple seconds, and it ended up being like a 2-count pause rather than 3 on the 3rd rep. And then my single, I just absolutely panicked on my chest, and it just didn't, like the bar wasn't still enough for my liking, but equally I was kind of being hypercritical there, and that is kind of what we agreed. But the actual session itself was fine. I just felt a little bit weaker than I wanted to, but equally I literally trained 7 days in a row last week, and then I had 2 days off at the weekend where I was at a comp, hardly any sleep, like food wasn't great, so to be expected. But we're going to go into today's session. We're going to do better today. Nutrition has been perfect the last 2 days, back on point with everything. Yeah, going to just get the session done. It's going to be a good session.
I'll be there at the after party. Show up looking like a zombie. It don't matter, nobody stop me. I'll be there, just tell me where. Damn, I'ma long way home at a split road. Gotta make a choice, do I sober up? Am I tryna keep it going to be continued, or am I tryna lose? Good night, game over now. I don't think I wanna leave at a tough week. Gotta realize this is what I need. Don't got the time to be counting sheep. It's too late, I'm in too deep. Don't wanna contemplate, overcomplicate this. And I made my choice, wanna see what's going on. I'll be there at the after party. Show up looking like a zombie. It don't matter, nobody stop me. I'll be there, I'll be there. I'll be there at the after party. Show up looking like a zombie. It don't matter, nobody stop me. I'll be there, just tell me where. Just tell me where. Ay, oh no, 머뭇거릴 시간 없어. 필수적인 this is my only answer. Yeah, my body keeps telling me go. Wanna be stacking towers from downtown. I'll be on a roll, 머릿속엔 it's a rush hour. This, that, overtime, champagne shower. Step back, skip lines, yeah, I'm never going cold. 어디 가야 해, 알려줘. Don't wanna contemplate, overcomplicate this. And I made my choice, wanna see what's going on. I'll be there at the after party. Show up looking like a zombie. It don't matter, nobody stop me. I'll be there, I'll be there. I'll be there at the after party. Show up looking like a zombie. It don't matter, nobody stop me. I'll be there, just tell me where. Just tell me where. Once I get the ID, 택시 타 생각 없이 on my way, my ETA is ASAP. No way I'ma miss this. Pool party time to get lit. About to go down 마지막인 것처럼. Where we tryna go? 주소 보내줘. Where we tryna go? 빨리 보내. Oh shoot, okay I got it. I'll be there at the after party. Show up looking like a zombie. It don't matter, nobody stop me. I'll be there, I'll be there. I'll be there at the after party. Show up looking like a zombie. It don't matter, nobody stop me. I'll be there, just tell me where. Just tell me where. Just tell me where. I'll be there, just tell me.
Okay, so firstly, very out of breath. I've just finished my last set of deadlifts. Secondly, excuse the state of me right now. So squats, I was so mentally checked out. Like for my final set of 7, so I did ascending 7s after my tempo triples. And my final set was a set load. Well, they were all set loads for my 7s. Final set was 135, and genuinely I've been nervous about that all block because I've never, like last week I did 130 for 7. I'm pretty sure that was a PB for high bar. And I just really struggle with high bar when the load gets to like 130 plus, because even though it's not heavy for me, it doesn't feel heavy. I'm not anywhere near as strong on high bar, so it's just a little bit daunting for me. And mentally, because I was so checked out going into squats and just really struggling to get my mind on training and in athlete mode, I kind of had low expectations. But I lowered the load from what I wanted to hit on my tempo triples, which I'm glad I did. I think that was a sensible choice. And then my 7s actually felt quite decent. I just really mentally tried to switch on for that 135 set of 7. And it actually moved okay, because I did 120, 127, 135 for my 7s basically, and they were all set loads like I say. So it actually moved pretty well, probably like an RP6, maybe 7 at a push. On the last rep, you'll see in the video, weirdly shifted to the side. Don't really know what happened on that rep, but it wasn't like a max effort misgroove, it was like a silly misgroove. So yeah. Not too mad with high bar. I got them done pretty quickly as well, to be fair. I just wanted to get them done. And then I almost had a bit of a meltdown between squats and deadlifts because I was just really frustrated that I couldn't switch on. But as I started deadlifting, as I got into it, they definitely started to feel decent. Mentally, felt a lot more checked in, focused, and they actually moved pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with those. Got RDLs in a moment, which I am quite happy to take a little bit of a break before I do them, because I hate doing RDLs straight after conventional. But I will get it done. It's 3x10, I think, ascending RPE. So my RDLs are honestly so weak. So it's nothing heavy anyway. But I need to take them more seriously and really execute with more control. I think I've got 3 sets, and it's heel elevated as well to try and get me to kind of use my quads a little bit more. because one thing we're kind of focusing on with my conventional and my squats, to be fair, but we're just my deadlifts right now, with my conventional is staying on my quads more, and really using them, rather than, I have this habit when things get heavy where I kind of like shift back as soon as the weight gets close to my knee. So yeah, we kind of teach me kind of stay more kind of on my forefoot a little bit more. So heel elevated RDLs will teach me to push through my toes, not literally push through my toes, but more through the front of my foot. Stay on my quads more, essentially, is the goal. It's also a big focal point for squats as well, to be fair, because I do the same thing when squats get heavy, which, to be fair, when I look back at when my squat was at its peak strength, when I was doing like my 190 triple and stuff, I did actually stay on my quads a lot more. But I mentioned months ago, when I then kind of started to go through my struggles with squats, that I felt like I wasn't using my quads anymore, and that was kind of around the same time as my squats started to kind of plateau and go downhill. So that kind of makes sense. My camera is also about to die, so I'm going to stop talking. I'm just going to get my RDLs done. But essentially, mentally, kind of struggling this session, but getting it done. This will wrap up the video, so thank you if you made it to the end, and I'll see you in a few days for the second half of this week.